Hey, everybody, welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, where the coffee's hot, the bikes are in pieces right now, and your comments are absolutely ridiculous. We're here with MJ Dodson of WEBE Racing. Thank you so much for coming, MJ. I really appreciate it. Let me quick say good morning to everybody here. Dave Brayman, Smiley Hansen, Justin McCauley, Mike Barnato, what's going on? Rich Pierce is right there, Stephen Becky Peterson, Curtis Moore, Jameson Nygaard, let's see what's Jesus and dirt bikes, absolutely. We are both all about that. Jesus and dirt bikes saved my life for sure. So we're here to talk about WEBE Racing, what's coming up. MJ, last year was your first year of ownership. How'd that go?
Oh, it was a heck of a year. A lot of learning, a lot of doing, a lot of trials and tribulations, what to do, what not to do. But I think overall it was good, and it seemed like the feedback was good. So, yeah, I think it was a good year.
Yeah,
good
as
season.
A racer, I loved it. It was great. It was nice. It was kind of business as usual, which I know was your plan.
Yep, that was the plan.
You know, with some new stuff, but like not. It wasn't too out of hand, right? Like it didn't catch us all off guard, which is what we were hoping. Because we all love WEBE Racing. We've been doing it since when was the first year?
Well, last year was the 20-year anniversary, whatever the math
2003?
is. There you go, 2003.
Yeah, 03. So I probably raced in the second season is when I started doing it. So
nice, wow.
Yeah, and I haven't raced like every race the whole time or whatever, but my parents are here, Scott and Suzanne Spradlin. So
Morning.
Say hi to my parents, everybody, or my mom will come and kick your butt. Trust me. Roger Hurt, Tony Andrews, Eric Hall, Cal Becker. There's TBT Terry. What's going down? You guys, if you have any questions, please post them up. We'll try to make sure we get to them. MJ, give us a background. Who are you? Why are you doing racing? Like the minute version of that. Like how'd you end up here?
That's a lot for a minute. So
well, I know. Just we could do the 2-minute version, but yeah.
Born and raised Albuquerque, New Mexico. Was actually a big outdoors person, into fishing and stuff with my parents, camping. Went all over the West doing that, and then around 12, middle of summer, my dad showed up with snowmobiles.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of got us into motorsports and everything there. My first bike was actually an old beat-on XT225.
Ooh, nice.
And then an XR200, and then kind of worked my way up there. Rode a Blaster. And then about the time I could drive, I started working at a dirt bike shop, and then one thing led to another, so raced motocross for a while. And then stopped doing that, but have just been involved in motorsports ever since. And then this opportunity came up, and we decided to go for it. Partially because I had kind of retired from doing construction. Was done with that. The body couldn't handle that. We have Gage, our kiddo. I'm sure most people have seen him running around or talking to everybody. Funny quick story. The first race, he was gone for like hours, and then this lady's like, "Oh, is Gage? Oh, he's at our camper eating," which is one thing that kind of led us to buy and go into WEBE. Is that whole family environment is just it's so cool. Everybody looks for everybody's kids. Everybody's helpful. Will lend parts, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of what we've got, and then got big plans for it for sure.
Right on, yeah. I do love. I mean, obviously, all of us love the motorsports community. That's why we're here.
Yep.
The racing community is a special level of that, though. I think.
I would agree.
Because we're all like out there suffering, hanging it out, risking life and limb, all those things, right? And it's that shared adversity that brings people so close together. I think
that's a good way to put it.
That's the way I look at it. Like, because I was before motorcycles, I was into like climbing, mountaineering. Big stuff, and like when you started to suffer, that's when you got close.
Yeah,
like that's when you got really, really close with the people that you were with.
I would agree,
and it just was awesome. So, and there's nothing to bring out suffering like racing.
That's true. That's my goal. Not to make anybody suffer. That's not what it is. But I tried really hard every race. I tried to have something new, whether it was the cornhole tournament or whatever. The pit bike race out at Grand Junction. But then I always try to, it's kind of one of the things to look at when you set up a course and all the logistics is I've got to try to look at like a pro line and a pro level all the way down to the C's and even the Iron Minis, right? So I tried to put in some good option sections, tried to make it a little more difficult than maybe what some people like. But I think a lot of racers grew. I watched the times and the results very heavily. So it's funny. Not funny, but it's fun to watch people move up and see kind of what they like and what they don't like, whether it's flat or there's motocross thrown in, which most off-road guys are like, nope, wheels on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. All us off-road guys do our best to keep the wheels firmly planted on the ground. Maybe going really, really, really fast, but on the freaking ground.
On the ground.
I know that my kid, Thomas, who's watching, he shouldn't be because I think, it's still early before school. He hasn't started school, so Thomas, you can watch. He grew leaps and bounds this year.
Yes.
I've never seen him ride like that. Same with Ewan, both those boys. And it was cool. I'm stoked that you made people ride some motocross because those are the races that he did poorly in. Poorly, quote unquote. I mean, still top 3.
Right.
But it was awesome to watch him like work for it, right? Because he kind of ran away with the harder races. It wasn't really a big deal in the C class because that's what he normally rides. So it was fun to force his ass into that kind of racing because he got his butt kicked on the track. And it was awesome because it made him want it more.
Good.
So
good.
I think it was great, and I don't know if he'll agree. We'll see if he even says anything. My mom's saying hi. So if you have any questions, please ask. Oh, here a quick 52A James. Any tips for installing KTM 4-stroke piston wrist pin clip? Careful patience is all I can say. If you watch the last video of me doing the 2-stroke one, it's the same situation. Patience and like a soft thing to put your thing on because KTM wrist pin clips are a pain in the butt. They're super stiff. Also, guys, if you haven't yet, there's a ton of you watching, but only a few thumbs up. So back out of the chat, hit the thumbs up, and then come back in, and we can be friends. Let's see. So anyway, please shoot questions at MJ about WEBE, about anything, about his beard, about where he slept last night. I don't care.
Yep.
But I will ask you, so you say you got big plans.
Yep.
Are there plans that you can reveal now? Or are you keeping them close to your chest?
No, I kind of made a decision going into this, and I've said it already. It's not my series, it's our series. Really, is what it is. So if I have something to tell, I can. Could get me in trouble, right? Where something might not come to fruition, but I'd rather have that idea out there, and maybe somebody could even piggyback on her, like, hey, I know somebody that would allow that, so on and so forth. So an endurance events will probably happen next year. It will be with WEBE, part of WEBE. You can run both at the same time. We're looking at doing some different kinds of scoring to get, they call it like a multi-scramble, but we talked about sleeping last night. I was out Dry Creek, scouted that on the T-Dub. So looking at the logistical parts of that and scoring and so on and so forth. Big things that we might be going to another state. I'm going to try to do Arizona. Just always, and maybe they're not big things, but they're big things to me because it's a lot to put together. Once I get an idea, excuse me, I've got to run it through a whole matrix of approvals, if you will, whether it's insurance, whether it's T-Chad, the medic who was not fond of the pond jump. But it is what it is. So, and I mean, there's a whole lot more permitting and so on and so forth. So the biggest thing would probably be the endurance event next year, and then possibly going to Arizona next year. So this year is pretty set. The TBD trying to get figured out, and then hopefully Monte Vista happens. I raced that back in, can't remember, 11 or 12. I'll have to check which year I ran that. Ran the whole WEBE series, but it's such a cool course. That is just an amazing place to do. So hopefully, I want snow, ride snowmobiles, and we need the snow, but at the same time, hopefully we don't get a ton.
That was a lot. That was a lot of snow.
Yeah, there was a ton.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what happened to Monte Vista last year, the camping and everything is at a lake, a reservoir, and it was way too full, and there was no camping.
No.
There was just water where we normally would camp.
And I think I posted in the WEBE Facebook group, I posted pictures from the landowners, and I think somebody else, one of the riders, Chris, I think. And yeah, the water, if you know Monte Vista, you come down like the main road, and then you kind of off that road down into the dry lake bed. The water was they said 10 to 15 feet away from that main road. So that's how much snow gnarly. And everything that was there.
Mr. Hansen asked, is that available, your hooded sweatshirt, online? Are there a link to getting those, or do we only buy them at races?
Right now, only at races.
Okay.
Right now. So we're working on something else there to be able to have a store online.
Your wife says hi.
Hello. Good morning.
Roger Hurd, where in Arizona? The hope is the Cinders area up near Flagstaff. Do you cover one of your radiators in the cold weather? If so, which one? Do you cover radiators when you ride in the...
No, I don't do the snow bike thing.
Well, I mean, like, he's just talking about riding in cold ass weather on a dirt bike.
Down in Albuquerque, we really don't get much. I know for my birthday, like 2 years ago, me and Doug might be on watching. What's up, Doug? We went out riding to the end of Southern, and it had snowed the night before. No, and I didn't cover it. Didn't see a need. I know some of the snow bike guys do, but
yeah, I don't. So on a snow bike, I used to. I had a snow bike for a season. I'd cover one. It doesn't. Which one doesn't matter. They're all shared fluid, but I can say that riding, if there's dirt on the ground and I'm riding, it's not gonna. For me, I'm not going out if it's colder than about 30. So and that's like whatever. I mean, I know a lot of guys just can't help themselves, but fortunately, again, Montrose doesn't get that horribly cold for very long. It's pretty freaking nice here. I do not bother with that. I also don't bother with, I take the thermostats out of things. If you watch the beta build, I check the thermostat. That's what the thermostat's for, is to keep the heat up. It's also a fail point, so that's why I throw it away. And I just, everything's fine.
I do love this area. This would be on the short list to move to. Oof, yeah. This
place is amazing.
Yeah. Every time I come here, it's harder and harder to leave. I do dig it here.
So Curtis, real fast, if you thought about suspension mods, I'm valving the beta heavily soon. I've already got the spec. I'll probably ride it a few more times, let the suspension all break in and get squishy, so I can give a good report of what it's like. But we've got really good settings. We already helped out Brittany Gallegos with her new betas, and she won the first race on it, and then got third at the National Hare and Hound by a very close margin. I think like you could almost throw a towel over 1 through 3.
Yep,
so it was awesome. YZ 450, real quick. Are they flywheel weight? Are they worth it? Yes, on a YZ, 100%. Those things are hard to keep rolling, like really hard to keep at low RPM. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that's maybe that's something I can announce, is that, and it's not necessarily an announcement, but I've had a couple organizations that we're starting talking to that are bigger organizations that we would co-sanction with and put on the race. So nice. There's some stuff, and for anybody in New Mexico, there's some stuff that I'm working on there. I guess, I mean, I can reveal or know. I mean, everybody that's close enough knows. My goal is to be racing probably 10 months out of the year, be putting on a race. And whether it's down south by where we live or up here, even looking at side-by-side racing, I'd love a motorsport triathlon. Like, how cool would that be, right?
Yeah.
Get your buddies with, side-by-sides or some other stuff. So there's always some stuff that I'm working with. Always. So, and I'll tell people as it works, because like I said, I'd rather put it out and it not work, but then maybe it sparks another idea, or somebody else can talk to us about something that, like, hey, here's an idea that I thought about. So always open to talking to anybody about anything and everything.
And Hanson, no, he asked if WEBE was just in Colorado. No, it is Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah this year, and then hopefully next year Arizona.
Yep, that's what we're looking for.
So Smiley, you need to come out and ride. Yes, dude, Smiley Hanson, I beat a pro this first past race. So what if it was a girl? Dude, I'm telling you, I got my ass whipped by Morgan Tankey at the last Hare and Hound I raced. So good on you, dude. You're flying, by the way, Justin. Nice work. Have I ridden Cecilia enough to get an idea of fuel mileage? No, I have not. I haven't paid attention. The longest ride I did on it was like 21 miles. I have no idea. Here we go. Have you decided on the 10-second starts for C-Class?
They're not 10 seconds. That would be way crazy. They would be 30 seconds, and I have not decided yet. I think that we probably will, but it's not official.
Instead of a minute, right?
Yeah, instead of a minute between each line, 30 seconds. It really seems to flow well. The rider feedback was good. The crew feedback, it seemed to work really well. And I think it's a little more predictable, if I'm going to be honest, whether it's watching the line in front of you start and then you're practicing your own starts. And it helps our schedule flow a lot better. So we'll probably do it. If we do for C-Class, we will make that announcement. But it is a go in Pro AB for sure. All rounds will be 30 seconds.
Nice. That's good. Speaking of Monte Vista, quick question about that. If it happens, is it going to be a sprint enduro like before? Not really a sprint, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Or is it going to be a hare scramble?
It'll be a hare scramble. Yes. That's kind of the format we're trying to stick with. Yeah, we'd like to get a sprint enduro. A true sprint enduro. Scoring is kind of what we have to figure out there. How to do that with our system and everything, because This year, I think our scoring, she really took to it and was able to get the results out quick and not many problems. So logistically, a sprint enduro is doable. We just have to figure it out. Because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah.
Just a different format. Like,
exactly. I'm all about kind of keeping it different, you know, and every site is different. I keep trying to throw in, you know, one unique Pro AB line or something. Grand Junction was great with the enduro cross stuff. That was that was fun. There was some cursing I could hear on the course when they came
swearing. There was some swearing for sure.
Yeah.
Which is good. We need swearing. You know, you got to get that out.
You got to get it out. But it's a goal of mine, really, to try to push all the riders and push our everything. I think just the higher we can go with it, the better as an organization we are all around. Yeah,
no, I think that's awesome. And I have to give a huge shout out to WEBE over all the years, and this year's included, on getting results and doing it accurately and quickly. Honestly, I've never raced another series where it is so, like, just clockwork. So thank you for that. I know everybody here thanks you for that, because there are other organizations, I won't mention them. They're not here in the state. Like, I'm not talking about Rocky Mountain Enduro Circuit. They actually do a pretty damn good job, too. But there are other organizations in other states that I will not race with anymore because we had to wait 2 weeks for results.
Oh, wow.
And that's like fine back in the 70s and 80s when there weren't computers.
The time sheets and everything, sure.
But that's not the case now.
No, it's not. No. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Countershocks, which is Nathan Looney. What scoring system do you use?
We use Moto Tally right now. Right on. So that's the thing about Dry Creek and all of them is part of the logistics isn't just parking or getting toilets and dumpsters and all this stuff. Is can we score it right? Because Dry Creek, it looks like it would be a section enduro, if you will, is kind of how it would have to be ran. Is where, and if you're familiar with it, would be up top, and then all the racing would be down on each course there. So Moto Tally has some pretty cool options, and we'll be exploring them, whether it's like an app that they have or getting remote readers. And again, yes, when I race WEBE has been, I could say, on time. You always knew the schedule. You always knew they were going to start on time. Every race was very consistent with the way it ran, registration, everything like that. And then we are definitely trying to keep that going, because I think that's huge as a racer.
Well,
when you show up, yes, the course is your variable, and you're already focused on that. And I got to catch my buddy, and I got to do this. But if you know that everything else is the same, that's the way to do it. In markings, I'm going to work on this year that we're going to have probably inside corner and outside corner markings.
Okay, and so two things. First of all, markings, I know it's hard and whatever, but I highly recommend looking at the Caselli marking system.
Okay.
It's the best I've ever seen, and National Hare and Hound uses it.
Okay.
I've never felt so safe going so fast.
Okay.
Because, and we can talk about that later, I would love to help sponsor buying the stuff for it.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's so good.
Okay.
Like, anyway, that's a thing.
Sure.
It's amazing. Anybody who's raced a recent National Hare and Hound, and by recent, like the last 3 years, it's incredible. You can just hold it and be really, it's super cool.
Cool.
And the course isn't safe. It's hard.
Right.
Like, it's nasty, but the way it's marked, and it takes a while for people to kind of start to understand it.
Sure.
But then it's amazing. And then I have to say, back to the whole scoring and results thing, the only reason we pay to go race, right, is so that we can actually judge ourselves against other people.
Yes.
Because I can go race my buddies. We can all start and pin it, and I can know how fast I am compared to them. Yep. But I can't look at it on a thing. So if I'm going to give someone money, I want to have results that actually make sense. And you guys do such a good job. Good. So
thank you.
Thank you for that. It's
our pleasure.
Absolutely incredible.
Yep. Yeah, and racing with your buddies, that's what it's about. Yeah. Gauging you is like you start a new training program. Is it working? Yeah, you want to see, hey, look, I'm 30 seconds above where I was in the pack last year consistently. So knowing that pays off hugely. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm,
especially in the Western United States, I can go ride for free anytime I want. I mean, I literally ride from my house in 80,000 acres and have a ton of fun. I don't need to go racing other than I want to see my results.
Yep.
So thank you again. I just can't.
Our pleasure.
It's so good. And Las Vegas, how is that looking? More mountains, more desert? What are we looking at? Like, what's that course. Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
That's the first round this year, guys. Sorry. Yeah, if you don't know, that's the first round this year.
Excuse me. So it's 1 of 2 spots. I have a meeting next week. So
private land or public land?
Both.
Oh,
actually,
nice.
yeah. Those are the 2 spots that I'm looking at. First, it was private land, and if it's a private land, it's very flat, and that might be a restart, or not a restart, but that might be a sprint enduro because it's flat and where I have to work with. The spot that is city land, I have a meeting with. It looks like it's a go, but I'm not going to say it is until everything is approved, signed off, and everything like that. But they've been more than welcoming. They've been very helpful in all of it. They've been wanting an event there, and they actually have 2 pieces of land, so we might be able to even to mix it up if we go back and if everything happens. So the private land is flat, very just dirt, not much rock. If we go to the city-owned land, it's hilly, it's in the trees, and it's very rocky. So cool. I will make that announcement. And if we can go forward with the land that the city has, I will be posting a lot of that because I have to go set up a course. It's virgin territory. There's one road I think that we have that is an access road that we'll use. There's some arroyos and ditches and stuff, but other than that, I've got to cut the whole course. So yeah, gotcha. I'll post pictures.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. It's going to be fun. Totally new area.
Yes, yeah.
All those guys, just so you know, everybody from Colorado is whining about how far away it is, but we're excited. I'm excited. It's a long way. It's 8 hours, 7 hours from here.
Yep.
But you know, we drive all over the place. I mean, I went to freaking Mexico last year,
right?
So like, I will go racing, and
cool.
It doesn't matter. I'm excited. The boys are excited.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
It's cool, and we're actually racing. I think it's going to be a cool thing that maybe can tie in. I can learn some things for you. We're racing the Gypsy Tales 500 2 weeks before your race, which is a 500-minute race.
Oh, wow.
So it's 8 hours and 20 minutes, team race, and it's MX and off-road.
Wow.
Hair scramble, 20-minute laps, dude, for 8 hours. It's
wow. That's awesome. And that's learn some stuff. Do some recon for me because that's what I would love our endurance one to be.
Yeah.
And it'll be 6 hours. You know, I'll tell everybody I'm looking at a 6 hour to actually test and try it. And it will be, I'll just tell everybody, this is the thought. And maybe you can give me feedback, is that we will do a mass start, but not in the sense of a mass start. We will do a mass start. I'm thinking 8 in the morning. It'll probably be out at Monticello. The reason is that there will be the main race course that will be ran for WEBE and team races. As the endurance event goes, I will have 4 separate offshoots that will open up during the endurance event to make them longer, and they'll be virgin, right? They haven't been ridden that weekend, that day. Everybody will start at 8, and it will be pros out, and then we'll work all the way back to Iron Mini. And the way it'll work is that up on the forks, you'll have a very visible sticker, and you will come through a very long scoring chute. And we'll have readers that, if you don't have that fork, or if you don't have that sticker, we pull you at the time. You know, the hour and 15 minutes for C, and then 2 hours for pro. If you have that sticker, once you've completed your WEBE race, you can pit, you can join with your team, you can go do one more lap and then rest. So I think that's going to, because I don't think that we can do it and cost to racers, right? To have a separate weekend and a separate race with it.
Right.
If this one works, though, we can set that up. But I just need to know that it'll work logistically and racer and everything wise. So that's kind of how it's going to work. So there you go. Some information I've been thinking of and trying to do.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm excited about that. And I think Monticello is a perfect place with the moto track. It's easy to set things up. It's big parking. I mean, it's to go into virgin territory for something like that, it would be nutty.
It would. I mean, I'm pretty nutty though. There's a lot I want to try, but yes,
first time though.
Exactly. And Drew with Monticello reached out and said, "Hey, we're game." So that was part of it. And like you said, the parking, the pitting, the start, I think it very much will lend itself to this idea and the way it'll work.
Right.
Very much so.
Yeah, and they got power, so you could have vendors. I mean, it's just the whole thing makes sense to me, and I love that endurance idea because again, that's one that brings people really close together.
Yes, it does.
Like it brings teams together. It brings teams together with other teams because you're borrowing parts.
Yeah. Or families, right?
Yeah,
the father, son.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a family class even like during the team race.
Yeah.
And it'd be so cool if we could get like junior and mom and dad right on a team out there running. I think that would just be that'd just be badass to do stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be fun.
Oh yeah, and Roger Hurd is at 24 Hours of Glen Helen. They definitely have it wired on how to run that.
Yeah.
Which I need to go race that. Have you ever raced?
Let's go. There you go.
All right. When is it? We should do it.
They usually do it, I think, in October.
Okay. We should figure
October,
that
November.
out. Roger's gonna come in because he's raced it probably 1,000 times.
I'd love to do it. No, that's always been a dream. I'll sacrifice body, money, whatever.
Garrett, are you saying you'd get scored in 2 classes potentially? Yes, you would get scored in your WEBE class, your normal WEBE class.
Yes,
and then you would also be scored in the big class.
Yep.
Which sounds complicated to me, but it sounds like you probably have a way of figuring it out.
It is complicated.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And I shout out to the WEBE crew, new and old this year. They just stepped up. They helped me, and were amazing. Like I said, scoring, just figured it out like that, sweep everybody. So we'll figure it out. There's a lot of ways to do it, and it might be one of those things that, and even when I was looking at Dry Creek, we might have to hand score some of it. So the results might be an hour late as we put them in. But I mean, if it's the first time and we learn and we grow it and we get better, then so be it.
Yeah, an hour is not bad.
I don't think so.
2 weeks is bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, Dan North, I need to come to the 24-hour Starvation Ridge up there. I can be on the beta team. Now, finally, I can be on a beta team.
There you go.
Finally, I can be with the Italians. Do we get to eat pasta and pizza and drink red wine the entire time?
Oh, there you go.
I might come out, fall off the wagon just for that.
Only if it's true Italian wine.
Yeah, exactly. Valpolicella. No, I need to get up there. I also want to race the Desert 100 up there in that area. Man, yeah, I got lots of things I want to do.
Yep.
Lots and lots of stuff. Let's see. Any other questions? You guys keep coming here. We got just a few minutes left. We're going to let MJ go right at about 8, so I don't want to keep him too long. Let's see. 2 strokes are being banned. Yeah, I know. It sucks. California is stupid. Whatever.
Yeah,
the state is beautiful. It's full of wonderful people, except for the coast. So Smiley Hansen lives up in Paso Robles, where it's actually still normal. It's a nice place, but not, whatever.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Quick, we'll do some personal questions about what do you ride, dirt bike wise?
15 YZ250 2-stroke.
Nice.
That's what I ride.
Nice. So. Only the best.
I think so. I'd love to upgrade to the new anniversary one. It's so pretty though. I don't know.
They're so gorgeous, dude. That white
and the KX, that 93 KX. Yeah. The throwbacks are so cool. I love it. I know.
The problem with the KX is that it's a KX.
Yeah.
And I see them blow up constantly. It's so annoying.
But personally, I've ridden other bikes, and I'm like this with snowmobiles and other stuff. A YZ fits me and like my riding style. And maybe I've never had suspension work done. I just run stock and figure it out.
They're good.
That's what right, exactly. But I steer with my back end. I like to back into corners and do that. And the YZ has always fit me. I don't know if it, I don't know what it is, but that Yamaha. Yeah, they're almost bulletproof. I remember one of the 250Fs I had, let a friend ride it, put a hole in the case, and it's just pissing oil. He's like, what do we do? And I said, well, ride. Let's get back. I don't know. Like, maybe the faster you go, the more oil will stay. Made it back, changed the oil, JB welded the case. That bike lived another 3 years. No problem. They're bulletproof.
They are so good. And obviously both my kids are riding YZs. I've ridden YZs forever. I'm on fancy Euro bikes now. But the soft spot in my heart for YZ, forever. I love them so much.
Yep.
Here, actually, this is something we should talk about. Kim Jackson lives in Wyoming. It'd be cool if I could let you hold an event here at the ranch on our mountainside. She's near Rock Springs, right, Kim? I think.
Okay.
We should talk about that because she doesn't own the ranch. She's a caretaker.
Okay.
But we should talk about that. Wyoming that'd be a cool addition to the number of states.
It would.
Because Wyoming is like the land of the free.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. Missoula, Montana. We actually looked at moving when I was young. So that whole area. Like I said, when I was growing up, we traveled there, and it is beautiful up there. Get a hold of me.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing is if anybody's got ideas, you can message me Facebook or my personal one, wherever. Our phone number's out there. Message me and let's start talking. I am open to anything and all, even if it's a one-off event. There's tons of stuff I'd love to try with dirt bikes, with side-by-sides, with even like a triathlon where you've got to run, then jump on a bicycle, and then jump on a motorcycle, and then do it all backward. Like there's all kinds of stuff. And I think a mountain bike, dirt bike one would be really cool because I know both disciplines cross-train with the other one, right? But then even Ironmanning it would be fun to do something like that.
Heck yeah. Quick question about, does the XR650 feel that much heavier than the 400? Yes. It's a much heavier motorcycle, but also much more awesome because it goes faster. Yeah, the best thing about a 650 is the fact that you can roll down a road at a relatively high rate of speed with the thing barely doing anything, barely turning the motor over. Is a CR01 CR better woods bike than aluminum frame YZ? No. YZ is a better woods bike all day, every day. If you go to, in my opinion, if we're looking at two-stroke motocrossers, CRs were great on the track, but I mean, some guys ride them off road, but just look at the world, and you'll see there's so many more YZs. Also, they keep building YZs, so you can buy parts for them. I'm guessing that an 01 CR might be starting to get real hard to find parts for.
Probably. Not only that, I'm a numbers and logistics guy, so we keep track with WEBE, and Jackie does a wonderful job of having all these spreadsheets. It's always KTM and Husky at the top. It's just that's their world is off road, but Yamaha's second.
Yeah,
Yamaha, and it seemed like every race there was more Yamahas coming too.
Oh yeah, well, with the price of bikes these days, I mean, with the KTM, a new KTM being $12,000, a new Beta's 10 something.
Yeah,
it's out of hand, and you can go buy a YZ. You can buy an 06 YZ for $2,500 or $2,000. Put $4,000 into it, and have a brilliant motorcycle.
Definitely,
like a legit race bike.
Yeah.
All of $6,000 to $7,000, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the good thing and bad thing with Yamaha on their two-stroke side, right? Is that, gosh, what, 6? Is it 06? That thing's been the same.
06 has been the same.
Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, they changed some body work. They changed a few little thing, but yeah, essentially 06 to now is identical. So May and Prescott hair scrambles on private land. Ooh, okay, Roger, we need to talk about that. How about a 15250 SX versus a YZ? I'd still, honestly, off-road, I'd still choose a YZ.
The suspension for me, I know it's plush. You can do, from what I've read, you can do more with it. And I think suspension-wise, it's got more agility. Right,
and you can, if you are going to spend money on suspension, you spend way less on a YZ because all you have to do is move shims around to make it sexy. Whereas generally with a KTM, you're buying parts. And then moving shims around. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. In my KTM, I mean, fortunately, I didn't pay for it, but if you paid for my suspension, it's like $3,500. I don't know. It's nuts. Wow. It's really good, but I don't know if it's $3,500. I'm not $3,500 fast. So, YZs, they're rad. So it's 8 o'clock. We're going to shut this thing down. But one last question, at least for me. If you guys have one, we'll take it. What are you doing now to get ready for Las Vegas? Are you updating anything? Are there anything going to be different at all for Las Vegas?
So no, just different location. That's it. It will be the same.
The same format.
Everything unless we go to that private land, to the private land. Then it might be, excuse me, a sprint enduro. So I will, as soon as I know. Like I said, I've got a meeting next week. And I think that I will have an answer then.
Okay.
And I will just keep updating everybody. The website, we're always updating that.
And what is that website?
WeBeRacing.com. You can go there. And then social media. All the social medias, we're always Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, X, whatever it's called. Might even start doing, Snapchat. I don't know. We've got a YouTube channel. WeBe does. I've put some stuff up on it. I'm going to make a little more content and then put it out. So we have all these different resources. And I actually have a question. I have a gentleman that contacted me about the betas, a 200 or a 300X. Or the trainer, I guess, sorry.
Oh, X trainer?
Yeah.
For racing?
Yeah.
No.
So he's an older gentleman, wants to get into it, wants something mellow, and I thought the same. I thought you had done something.
I've done work on those. I've worked on them. So here, the quick rundown. The Beta 300, the X Trainer is a great beginner motorcycle.
Okay.
It's short. It's very mellow. All that stuff. The suspension is horrid. It's absolutely horrid, and there's nothing you can do to it other than completely replacing it.
Oof,
it's just, they're cheap, but they're terrible.
Yeah.
Again, beginner bike, brand new rider, awesome. Phenomenal motorcycle. A great, first time motorcycle, blah, blah, all the things. Great little motor, all that stuff. Racing,
No way.
No way. There's no way. I don't care. I wouldn't put a C rider on it because you actually get hurt because it's just not good.
And that's what I told him. I said, from what I know,
Yeah.
and he's raced before. He's done adventure bikes. He wants to come join WEBE
Yeah.
and race again. I told him, get an old school YZ. There's
Yeah.
a lot of potential. You can find him
But
cheap
if
and
he's
so
an
on.
old guy though, and if he's got any money, the nice thing about buying a Beta or something like that is you get a button, right? And that's nice.
True.
The Beta is nice because you can put a kicker on it too,
Mm.
which I just did on my 300, which is nice.
Yeah.
But the 200 is pretty sweet. Because it's like, I call it the 7/8 bike. It's like just a little bit smaller, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
super, super light. It's got plenty of low end grunt for an older, maybe not, C level. Well, I mean, A guys ride it too,
Right.
like you get a 125. But it's easy to ride. It's easier to ride slow than like a 125 or a 150. Some people buy those thinking, oh, I'm gonna buy a small bike. Dude,
No way.
you got to ride the crap out of
Yeah,
those
those things only like being up top.
Yeah, but the 200 will grunt and just like
Good to know.
cruise.
All right.
300, obviously, I like because I'm big and I live at high elevation. It's just nice.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Dan Northsey, for an extra trainer, you just spend $3,000 to make the suspension raceable. Yeah, so you buy a cheap motorcycle, right?
Yeah, and then
you get it up above because that would put Dan. Correct me if I'm wrong. That would put it above a new 200 or 300 race by doing that. So and the race, the 2 and 300, the new ones, really, if you want to race it, you don't really have to do anything to it.
Good to know.
Suspension is fine. Everybody whines that it's a little stiff. You can back the clickers out, by the way, everybody. And then
Right.
and then also it's a race edition, so it's made to go fast. Yeah, like Crash Heart says, the 300 so you can be lazy. That's what I like. I mean,
Yeah, and lug it.
yeah, I just do it. And my kid, my 14-year-old Ewan, he rode it, the new 300, and he loved it. And he's a bit of a throttle jockey when it comes to his 125. He's a handful.
Right.
But he got on the 300 and was just like he pieced out. Which is cool.
Gonna have to get him a new bike.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he's looking at it. He's working on selling his and doing it. So.
Awesome.
All right, guys. I got a boogie. I know MJ has to boogie. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. Guys, you're rad. Punk Rock Club, you're my favorite. Yeah, we will see you guys very soon. And what's a quick date for Las Vegas?
March 22nd, I think.
Yeah, that weekend. Whatever,
Yeah.
March
22nd, 23rd, somewhere
there. Be there or be square. We love you guys. See you soon.